A little bit of wind, a little bit of rain, but we've still got baseball here in Roscoe Village. Game number 3 of the conference season for Lane Tech and Lakeview, as Lane Tech looks to stay undefeated in conference play, but they have a nearby rival in the way trying to keep that, ruin that perfect conference record. Thanks for joining us. Alex Burstein on the call here from Kerrywood Field. Lane Tech playing at their home field, but they're going to be the away team today. Share home field with Lakeview, so Lakeview will be the home team tonight, and then when these teams meet in about a week and a half, Lane Tech will be the home team. But that means that Lane Tech will be batting first here tonight, a first for them this season at Kerrywood Field, so we'll see how they do hitting in that first spot. Lakeview, meanwhile, they've had a somewhat rough start to the season, just one win on the year, coming off of a recent sweep to start the season in conference play. They enter tonight with a 1-6 record, 0-2 in conference play after 2 run rule losses to the Payton College Prep Grizzlies. So Lakeview looking to rebound here tonight against the Lane Tech baseball team. We're just about ready for first pitch here. First pitch slated for 4:30. It was originally supposed to be a 5 o'clock first pitch. However, some changes got made. It'll be 4:30. The weather has been very rocky here in Chicago today. There's a lot of rain earlier on. It's been pretty windy. You can see out on the top of your screen is blowing out west right now, so that will give probably lefty batters a little bit of trouble getting the ball in the field of play here today. But that's what the conditions they're working with today. A lot of junior varsity games, a lot of varsity games across the city got canceled. However, these two teams decided they have enough to have good enough conditions to play, and that is exactly what we are going to do. We'll meet your starting lineups first for the visiting Lane Tech baseball team. Slightly different lineup than they've been going with. They've been changing it around. Looked like it was steady for a couple games, but now it's changed around the last game or two, so we'll take you through that. It'll be Mark Seward on the mound. Comes into tonight with a 3.5 ERA, 1-1 on the year. He gets to start on the mound for Lane Tech. Joseph Perona catching for Seward, the junior, and then around the infield, Jack Tsor at first base, Carter Dow at second base, and Louis Darishin at third. Nick Lagis gets to start at short, and then Carson Berg, Jack Pelican, and Leo Zerillo will be your starters in left, center, and right. So I believe 3 juniors in the outfield here tonight at Kerrywood Field. Looks like we've started to get some snow here at Kerrywood Field, so we'll have some snowy April baseball here. Weather just the last couple of weeks has been brutal for Lane Tech baseball. They for all Chicago Public League teams and really IHSA teams overall. They've had a lot of cancellations, both due to the rain and due to just it being too cold. A little bit rainy, a little bit cold here tonight, but as we mentioned, just good enough conditions for Lane Tech and Lakeview to play. The batting order for Lane Tech tonight, it'll be Joseph Perona leading off. Josh Katz will still be hitting second. However, tonight he will be DHing instead of being in the infield. Nick Lagis hits third. Louis Darishin in cleanup tonight for Lane Tech. Carson Berg gets to start at hitting fifth here tonight. Carter Dow hitting sixth, and then Jack Soar, Leo Zerillo, and Jack Pelican will be your 7, 8, and 9 hitters tonight for Lane Tech. We have some slight problems with the Lakeview roster. We only had a couple of positions. We do have their full batting lineup, but we'll be adding in the positions as the game goes on because we did not get a scorecard that had all the positions for them. However, their batting order tonight, it'll be Lewis Roman wearing number 1. He will be leading off tonight for the Lakeview Wildcats. Hitting second, Ivan Santiago. Miso Salmeron, who is the pitcher tonight for the Wildcats. He will be hitting third, so really a 2 threat there. He will be hitting third tonight. Daniel Villa will be hitting cleanup tonight. Then Joel Perez, Edwin Olivedo, and Jansen Cree will be hitting in the 5, 6, and 7 spots. And then closing out the lineup for Lane Tech, it'll be Tony Garcia and Julius Perez in the 8 and 9 spots for the Wildcats. As we mentioned, we do not have the full defensive alignment for Lakeview here, but we'll try to get that as the game goes on. Couple of Lane Tech batters warming up. As we mentioned, this is the first time this year we're going to see Lane Tech hit first at Kerrywood Field. Probably shouldn't change too much for them. However, as we mentioned, it's going to be very interesting to see what type of effect the weather has on these two teams. You can see on the field right now, there's a lot of black turf pellets around every single base so far. It's probably going to be slippery, especially could have an effect on the pitcher, and it might be a sloppy game. Maybe these teams will learn how to play with it, and we'll see in just a couple of minutes. Meeting with the umpire right now is the two head coaches of the two squads tonight, Sean Freeman for Lane Tech and Joseph Butcher for the Lakeview Wildcats, both having a couple of last-minute words with the umpire, and then we will be ready for first pitch. As you mentioned, it'll be Joseph Perona leading things off here tonight for Lane Tech. One of the most consistent hitters, leads the team in batting average, I believe. He will get the start hitting for Lane Tech tonight. Lane Tech's coming off of two interesting games. On Wednesday, they were able to come back, win 12-9 in 8 innings, so an extra inning it took to beat the Taft Eagles and stay undefeated in conference play with a 2-game sweep of the Eagles. However, that was a lot closer than a lot of the team expected after the dominating win over the Eagles on Monday. And then last night, a blowout loss 13-3 to Nazareth Academy. Obviously, Nazareth, one of the better teams in the state. However, still never a good sign when you're getting blown out. So Lane Tech is going to hope to recover that tonight with a slightly easier opponent in the Lakeview Wildcats. We mentioned Payton earlier this week. 2 blowout losses to the Grizzlies on Monday. Caught the end of this one, actually. They were at Kerrywood Field. It was an 11-1 loss to Payton College Prep. And then on Wednesday, it was even worse, a 14-3 loss. Neither of those games went the distance. I think both went 5 innings. So we'll see if this one is a shorter game or not. Lane Tech's bats this year, they've been very up and down. Some games they're scoring 10-11. They scored 10 on Monday against Taft. Other games like last night, they only get 3 runs, and it just really depends which batting order shows up for Lane Tech, the ones who are getting the hits and making their steals and scoring runs, or sometimes a lot of strikeouts, a lot of base running errors, and that just leads to low scoring games for Lane Tech against an opponent here against Lakeview, an important conference opponent. This should be big for Lane Tech. Looks like we're going to get started a little bit later than expected here at Kerrywood Field. The umpire having a quick word with the batting order for Lane Tech. You don't see that really often. A couple of conference games going on here tonight in the Jackie Robinson North. One already got postponed. I saw the Von Steuben was supposed to play against, forgetting, I'll get that in a second, but that game got postponed. But yeah, it was interesting. Last night, Von Steuben actually beat Whitney Young, which was an interesting result. Later on in the nightcap here at Kerrywood Field, it's supposed to be Lincoln Park at Payton. If the field is still playable, that will be, I think, the 7:30 game here at Kerrywood Field. So a busy night of Chicago Public League baseball. Looks like the rain/snow coming down a little bit harder now, but we've got the press box above us. There's a couple of fans here in the ballpark, so we'll be ready to go. I don't know why they have not started the game. Hopefully they're not talking about a postponement. We'll see. I know the Coach Freeman was talking about just the home plate. He was going over to the umpire to look at it, make sure it wasn't too slippery. They were wiping it off. But if we do end up playing here tonight, expect there to be a lot of slipping and sliding here. Luckily for Lane Tech, they're one of the only teams who can play games even when it's a little bit rainy, just because it is full turf field. The only dirt in the vicinity is the bullpen pitcher's mounds. Those are made of dirt, but everything else, even the infield here, is made of turf. So a good opportunity for Lane Tech to play at home or at Kerrywood Field even when it has been rainy days. So we'll see if they are able to get a full game here tonight. Now we see Joseph Butcher coming over to have a word with Coach Freeman of Lane Tech. Both the teams are looking like they're ready to go. I know the players want to play. It's the start of their spring break, but they're hoping to get one last conference win before they head into break. Lane Tech will be heading down to Florida to play a couple of games out of state. And yeah, right now just waiting for an official word from the umpire. They're all shaking hands, and I think we should be good to go in just a second. And they're telling them to go, so we're going to play ball here at Kerrywood Field. It'll be a rainy Friday afternoon game. We'll see how that has an effect on the two teams. It'll be, as we mentioned, Miso Salmaron, who had 15 strikeouts in the game last year against Lincoln Park. He knows how to fire up that pitch and get strikes. He will be on the mound wearing number 22 here tonight for the Lakeview Wildcats. And as for Lane Tech, as he mentioned, it'll be Joseph Perona leading things off in the top of inning number 1. Josh Katz hitting second. He's a designated hitter tonight. And Nick Lagus hitting third. He is playing in the shortstop role. We've now seen Lagus play at second, third, and short. I don't know where he's going to stick for the rest of the season. Has shown some promise at every single position, so we shall see how that plays out. As we mentioned, we're still trying to fill out our lineup here for the Wildcats defensively, because we did not get their full scorecard. As you mentioned, it'll be Salmeron pitching tonight for the Wildcats. Looks like it'll be Edwin Acevedo catching, and then we'll try to get you the rest of those as we see them on the field. At first base, looks as if it is going to be number 10, Daniel Villa, will be playing over at first, and that's the only two I can make out right now, but we'll try to get those couple more names as the Wildcats go through their warm-ups. A couple of pitches here. That's another thing. The ball definitely could slip out of the hands. It's going to be a wet ball probably all night. I'm sure they're going to try to go through as many balls as possible to keep them dry. However, ball could definitely be slipping through a bunch of players' hands here tonight. It'll be Tony Garcia at third tonight for the Wildcats, trying to catch the number over there at second base. Looks like it might be number 3, which would be Jansen Cree. So that's what we'll go with for now. Looks like he will be playing at shortstop, and then can't quite catch the number at second base right now, but we'll try to get that momentarily. Lane Tech enters tonight's matchup with a 6-4 record on the year, so with a 600 win percentage heading into the season. They've had some tough games. They've had some good wins as well. Opened the season against St. Rita, but it's just been a very up and down year so far for Lane Tech. They've seen a couple times it seems like they had gone into a groove, and then the next game they just completely face planted. So it's been very up and down. They're still trying to find their rhythm, and they'll try to keep that going here tonight against the Lakeview Wildcats. Just about time for first pitch here. It'll be Joseph Perona, the contact hitting lefty, leading things off here tonight for the Lane Tech baseball team. It's going to be about a 4:40 first pitch here at Kerrywood Field, so a little bit later than we were expecting, but not too much. Originally we were expecting a 5 p.m. first pitch, got moved up till 4:30, and now there'll be a 4:40 actual time of start here as Perona gets into the batter's box, and we're ready to go here from Kerrywood Field. First pitch is going to be hammered on top of the concourse here. You probably heard that on the broadcast. That one hit right into the top of the stadium for a strike one, 0-1 the count. Perona, the only catcher in the lineup here tonight for Lane Tech. For a lot of games, it's been both him and Zach Shashua as DH catcher and outfielder combination, as this one's fouled off to bring the count to 0-2. But tonight, Perona, the only player who can catch in the lineup. He'll be catching tonight, as he mentioned, for Lane Tech. 0-2, the early count on the lefty. He does not get out a lot, almost always seems to find a way to get on base as the 0-2 pitch fired, curveball. That one just misses. That was a great pitch there from Salmeron. Just misses the outside part of the plate, and that will bring it to 1-2. Didn't look as if there was a lot of velocity on that curveball. However, definitely some movement. We'll see how the Lane Tech batters react to that. The 1-2 pitch. This one hammered into left field. Trying to get under its left fielder. He will for out number 1. A routine play to get out of it. That one kind of flew off the bat of Perona. However, good positioning by Lakeview in the outfield there to get out number 1. So 1 up, 1 down to start things off here for Lane Tech in the top of the first inning. And Josh Katz is going to come to the plate. Going to have a word with the first base coach really quickly, and now he'll head back to home plate. First right-handed hitter of the night for Lane Tech. Katz, as you mentioned, interesting. He is going to be the DH here tonight, and we do have the entire defensive alignment here for Lakeview, so we'll get you that after the first pitch here as Cat steps into the bat. He's had very up and down year at the plate, been pretty good in the field. However, a lot of strikeouts and some big hits for Cats. As first pitch, curveball misses down low for a ball. 1-0 the count. So in the outfield tonight for the Lakeview Wildcats, it'll be Jansen, Lewis, and Joel from left to right field. As the 1-0 pitch to Cats, delivery, that one hit sharply down the third base line for a strike to bring it even at 1-1. So as you mentioned, those will be the outfielders. It will actually be Evan playing at shortstop tonight, Julius at second, Daniel Vila, as you mentioned, at first, and Tony Garcia at third base, Miso Salmaran at first base, and Edwin Acevedo catching tonight for the Lakeview Wildcats. As this one curveball misses inside, the Lakeview fans thought that one was a clear strike. Ump doesn't agree though, and will bring it to a 2-1 count now on the junior second-year varsity player for Lane Tech. Nick Lagis, another one of the more consistent bats on this Lane Tech team, on deck, as this one down low takes a couple of bounces. That's the first ball we've seen tonight that looks like it could have slipped a little bit. So once again, that is something to keep an eye out on, just seeing how this weather takes control of the game for either team. Looks as if it might have stopped snowing. Not sure if it started raining here at Kerrywood Field. It's kind of hard to see from the press box. As the 3-1 down low, and Cats will take his base on 5 pitches. So Lane Tech gets their second batter of the day on after a fly out from Joseph Perona. Josh Katz is able to reach with a walk. And we'll see, Katz has shown the ability to steal some bases this year. We'll see if he's able to do that here with 1 out, and that will bring to the plate Nick Lagis. As you mentioned, one of the more consistent hitters. However, it's not just consistency with short base hits. Sometimes he's able to stretch doubles and triples. He's fast on the base path, so we'll see what Lagis can do here. As the righty comes to the plate, Salmaran checks the runner at first, now gets ready to fire. Oh, pitch, that one inside, and that's going to be 4 straight balls thrown here. Looks like there is still some rain coming down here at Kerrywood Field. MLB game was canceled. Chicago Cubs were playing at home against the Milwaukee Brewers. That game got postponed. However, this game's still being played at Kerrywood Cubs Field, as this one's going to go way over the head of the catcher, Acevedo, and Cats will come safely into second base, and that's going to bring to the count 2-0, and a runner now at second base for Lane Tech. We're going to have a quick word with the pitcher here. I just heard one of the coaches ask if it's hard to grip. This is what we're talking about. Ball's going to be slipping all night today. This was a problem Lane Tech dealt with last night as well. They were playing against Nazareth. The weather, it seems to be raining basically every single day. As we're going to bring out a towel, I think, to dry off one of the balls. That'll be a temporary situation. However, balls are probably just going to continue to get wet. So we'll see how this ends up playing out. But as you mentioned, last night against Nazareth, Lane Tech, it was a similar situation with the rain. That was a dirt field, however, still slippery ball. Led to some wild pitches for Lane, some errors. And now they are going to send the Lakeview Wildcats back to their lineup, and we will see. It looks like this game is at least postponed. Not sure what the official call is going to be. I'll try to get you up-to-date info. So as of now, it'll be Josh Katz at second base, Nick Lagis with a 2-0 count at the plate to lead things off with Lane Tech with the runner on, with Lane Tech 1 out in the top of the first inning. Kind of surprised they started this game because it was raining and they were talking about it, but then they did see that the ball was slipping so much. There had been 5 straight balls, including I think 3 wild pitches or 2 from the Lakeview pitcher, and that ended up putting the teams back to their dugouts. Does not look like anyone's leaving yet, so I think they're still going to try to find a solution, or at least wait until the rain dies down. We'll take a quick look at the forecast here on my phone to see if the rain is going to be slowing down here at all in Chicago. All the players trying to stay warm here at Kerrywood Field. Looks like chance of flurries for the next hour. Yeah, so there's at least a chance until about 11 p.m. of there being rain/snow. And now the Lane Tech batters are just going to hold. We'll try to stay on air for a couple more minutes. If it still's in a delay, we'll go have a quick word with the coaching staffs to see what the plan is to keep everyone going. But as of now, both the teams are going to stay near their dugouts, but they're going to get some warm-ups in. Yeah, we've had a lot of cancellations. However, this is the first delay. There might have been a short one. I was not at the game last night against Nazareth. I think there might have been a short one, but this is the first delay at Kerrywood Field we have seen. And as you mentioned, there's not usually a lot of cancellations due to rain just because of the field is turf. So this mainly is right now a problem with the balls, I believe, and just how it's slipping out of the players' hands. Probably would not have been super safe. Two back-to-back batters for Lane Tech, Josh Katz and Nick Lagus, almost got hit pretty hard with pitches. That's obviously not what you want. Not fair for Lakeview if the ball's not playable, and then also for Lane Tech. Don't want to risk any player safety with hit by pitches, and obviously the same would hold true for the bottom half of the innings where Lakeview would be hitting and Lane Tech would be pitching. So everyone just trying to keep the game fair and safe right now. We mentioned it is the game one of a doubleheader here tonight at Kerrywood Field. Kind of seems hard to imagine to see 14 innings of baseball. And we'll be back in just a second. So as of now, it is going to be a game postponed for now. They're going to try to play it here tonight and wait out the rain. So we're going to go pause the stream for a second, and then we'll be back on if they do get started. But we're going to pause the stream right now, and we'll get back if they do play.